Here you.
What? Lauren, what are you doing?
Drinking milk?
It don't look like milk.
Well, it's silk almond milk. It's I had food sensitivity testing.
Yeah?
And
Hey, we were just looking at food sensitivity testing.
no way.
No, yeah. Totally.
You know, this is crazy.
I know.
Yeah, I was like, it specifically said that I can't drink cow's milk without getting all bubbly, you know? Just hurts my tummy.
Are you seriously drinking out of the carton?
Oh, she's a carton drinker.
She's a carton drinker.
She's a carton drinker.
No way.
There's always one.
Oh, there's always
I
one.
have no idea what you're talking about.
She's that girl.
She's that girl. Okay.
I don't think I want to know that.
And then but they never put the lid back on.
I know.
Oh, and then when it's empty, it goes back in there.
Yeah.
It's empty and it
Oh,
still
yeah.
goes
Oh,
there. Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah.
There's two types of people. There's those people.
Those that put empty stuff.
Got milk.
Got
Got
milk.
milk.
Does it show? Does almond milk work? Does it actually show on there?
It does a little
Little
bit.
mustache.
It's a little
Almond
bit.
milk mustache. I love
I
it.
like it. I
Still
like
works
it.
then. Good.
Hi, welcome back to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Allie.
We have a great show for you this week. We're going to talk about the gut-brain connection, but we actually just want to talk about football.
Hey, the drafts start tomorrow or Thursday. Yeah, it starts Thursday.
I know nothing about
NFL
football.
drafts. Yeah.
I'm such a nerd.
I don't care.
NFL draft starts anyway.
But they were
These
playing
guys.
girls. Did you play girls football?
I introduced her. I brought her, and then
Yeah?
I
And then
replaced
you
myself.
bailed out?
Well,
'Cause you got nails that can
I heard
break.
there was going to be some falling down, and I thought I'm
I'm
not
out.
into falling down.
That's why I never played
Before she
sports.
took her testosterone, so.
That's right.
Indeed, it was
Indeed.
because after that, I would have been. No, really, I have some injuries that I just didn't find that it was worth taking a chance. So
I did the
fundraising.
risk the nails. Oh, and I've literally seen those blowout fractures of the zygoma and stuff. I don't like balls
what?
in the face. Like balls in the face where you get the fractures.
what's it? A zygoma?
Speaking of fractures,
Oh.
Yeah.
you want to show them your hand?
Well, you can't tell as much now.
Oh my gosh, it's so swollen.
Well,
is.
it was a lot worse. I got a nice little painted bruise on there.
I can see it.
It was it almost looked like I had a tan line.
It's puffy. It's very puffy.
Yeah, I might have broken a few bones here and there, but it's no big deal.
It's no big deal. You're left.
So tough.
You're right-handed, right?
I am
You still
right-handed.
wipe your butt.
No, I can't. Very well. I do that left-handed, and it's really been a really weird transition for
You
me.
got to be ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Ambidextrous.
I am.
Yeah.
I've been wiping my left hand my whole life, and I write my right. Ambidextrous.
Okay.
But now I just
TMI.
I'm
TMI.
like, I can't
I
stretch that far this way.
I have a bidet at my house.
A bidet?
Yes.
Oh.
So
No, nobody has a bidet.
Of course.
I do.
In Northwest Arkansas.
I'm fancy.
This
You're so fancy.
She's so fancy. However,
Hey, you could buy it on Amazon and install it yourself for $100.
$100?
Oh, dude, I'm getting
About
No.
$100.
I love
$200.
those.
Maybe
Doesn't
$100.
it splash stuff all around?
Oh no, right in the right spot.
No.
At all
Yeah.
The stuff
It's a
we
beautiful
talk about.
thing.
We're going to
It's a
get
beautiful
kicked
thing.
off in KNWA, aren't
No
we?
way.
No way.
Ratings.
They don't actually watch this before they put it on, right?
Actually, they do because they have to do this. They have to do the closed captioning.
Oh, they do. Okay. We did not say bidet, right? That's not a bad word.
Bidet is, it's a French word for
Bidet.
For what?
Bidet,
Right.
potato, potato.
Today is.
Oh,
We're going
God.
to talk about anything scientific
Yes.
or nerdy or
Yes.
medical.
We will. Gut brain axis is that what we're talking about?
Gut brain axis.
Yeah. See, I launched my almond milk. That's what started the football conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But the almond milk is what was going to make us talk about the gut-brain axis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
we can
I
digress back into that.
Yeah.
I got the book. You sent me an electronic copy. Quick read, good read.
Which one?
Yeah, the electronic copy. It's not
You're
out
actually
yet.
taking notes and stuff, weren't you? Like last week we were gonna do this show, and she's like, I'm like, no,
I'm prepared.
What did we do instead? Like
We did
testosterone?
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I have
last
nothing
minute,
prepared.
We're doing testosterone. She's like, I have nothing prepared.
Really
Except my
unprepared.
mustache. I did bring that
I
one.
did.
She felt very. You ain't gotta do a thing,
kidding.
girl. She felt very unprepared for class. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, I
She's
was
like,
okay.
really? We're
Was you
not doing
okay?
gut. So this week we're doing gut brain axis.
Yeah, and I've heard and read that it's considered like the second brain.
It is the second
And
brain.
talk to us about that. I mean, I know that you've talked this week somewhat that you feel that it's related to some fibromyalgia issues.
Absolutely. Leaky
And
gut is
leaky
huge.
gut is huge.
If you have autoimmune issues, if you have allergies, if you have gut issues, I mean, but not everybody has gut issues. I mean, some of it can be chronic pain, headaches, migraines, whatever the case may be.
And that's the inflammation,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I had a pain in my back, and I thought I had pulled a muscle, and it was like right underneath my shoulder blade for so long. And then when I did my food sensitivity testing, and I understood the things that were, sensitive to. Well, I'm a milk fiend, so I mean, the dairy section was all threes, and I just I kind of cut that out or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's gone. I don't
Yeah.
have those
Yeah.
pains anymore.
Yeah.
And
Well, I can speak to the inflammation because I have a knee issue, which we've treated with stem cells, which I have full range of motion now. And I didn't have
Yay.
it for some long time. Yeah, just 2 treatments actually. But when I eat bad, when I eat stuff I'm not supposed to be eating, I do feel it. I do feel it. I mean, in just the spots, I know you never would have thought that was connected, but it is.
It is.
I mean, I feel it.
I know people think I'm crazy, so I'll tell them stories. Like I had a Mennonite chicken farmer, a Mennonite, little lady in the little
Yeah.
Mennonite dress, cutest could be. Hers came back a 3 on chicken. And she gave up chicken for, we ask people to give up things
Sure.
after they get their
Detox.
report.
Yeah.
So they give up everything for 3 to 4 weeks, and then they start reintroducing. She was told she needed a hip replacement, and so she gave up chicken. Her hip pain went away, and every time she would eat chicken, her hip pain would come back again.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, yeah. And she's a chicken farmer, so what are you eating all the time? And the funny thing is, she had a dog, and she's that had arthritis that couldn't even climb up on the bed, and it was probably just coincidence. But actually, animals can have all the same. Animals get cancer, animals
Yeah.
get diabetes. So she took the dog off chicken too, and the dog actually got better.
whoa, wow.
Got over its arthritis. So, yeah, crazy stories.
And, you are what you eat, and actually you are what you absorb.
Oh, you watched my stuff, didn't you? I love it.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I
watch your
say all the
stuff.
time. She's
I'm lost.
You are what you
I watch your
absorb.
stuff though too.
do, do. Okay.
He just doesn't regurgitate
I'm moving
it
over
back.
here because Ellie's the smart one.
Oh no, I'm just prepared this week. I have my notes.
She did
I'm a copious note taker.
What a teacher's pet.
No, suck up. It's me.
Suck up.
Suck
Brandon.
up.
Can
Right.
you wipe that off?
Come here, let me clean that. Let me clean your nose. Seriously.
Actually, Lauren and I, we kind of hang out. We do nerdy, she does the nerdy electronic stuff. I'm like, you're so smart.
You so smart. You so smart.
You're so smart.
It's my one.
You're the smart one.
So I'm the smart one.
You are the smart
hey,
one.
Ellie.
Okay,
Yeah,
for right
see
now,
you
I'm the
there.
smart one
That's
because
right.
I said this. No,
Can
seriously.
you just be the pretty one? No, they're
wish.
pretty and smart.
I wish.
I love it.
She's gorgeous.
Let's go
Oh
on.
boy, these guys. It's
So
getting deep.
I guess we need to get back to some science.
Yeah. Should we go to the break before?
Oh
the
yeah, is it
second
time for
segment?
break? I'm not watching the timer.
Oh, it is
So
time,
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take a little break, and we love y'all. We'll be right back with the
Right
Naked
back.
Doctor Show. I'm Dr. Tammy, the Hormone Queen. In my almost 20 years of experience in working with tens of thousands of patients, I found that hormones have everything to do with weight loss. There are fat burning and fat storing hormones, so you have to maximize the fat burning and minimize the fat storing hormones. I've created Dr. Tammy's 21-day metabolic solution, which will help you heal your metabolism and lose weight. Very exciting. So what do we have? We have my daily metabolic support, which is formulated with all the ingredients to help your fat-burning hormones work better and to minimize your fat-storing hormones. I also have a great whey protein if you need a little bit of a meal replacement or just to help with some of the appetite. Helps with that glucose metabolism because let's face it, sugar storage, insulin, those issues are huge with trying to lose weight. And when you crave sugar, it's just no fun. So you're never hungry when you're doing this. Our Detox Complete helps heal the gut so that your body can absorb all these nutrients, because if you don't heal the gut first, then you're wasting your money on all this stuff. So I wanted to make sure you have all those great amino acids and anti-inflammatories. And one of the things that we found is most people are not overweight, they're inflamed. And so you have to treat the inflammation for you to lose the weight and for it to be sustainable. I also have my secret weapon, which I absolutely love, which is methylated vitamins. This is L-methylfolate, and this helps clear toxins because most people are not only inflamed, but they're toxic. So this helps clear all of that and helps your hormones work better. And then we have a great probiotic. There have been studies that have shown that people who are overweight have different bacteria in their guts than people who are thin. So if you want to be thin, you need the thin bacteria. So this probiotic helps heal the gut, and all of these things together help your metabolism work better and help you lose weight faster. Welcome back to Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And I'm Allie.
What? You're confusing me.
I'm Allie. I'm Allie.
I'm Lauren.
Don't let him mess with you.
We
so we're
will if
talking
you let us.
about leaky gut, gut-brain axis, and food sensitivity testing. So it's really cool.
It is. It's interesting.
It is so cool. And you know, one of the interesting things that I've experienced over the years is that, as I learned this actually from a chiropractor, works here in Bentonville, and when I first moved to town, I worked for the hospital. I say
Northwest.
Yeah. Oh, can we say?
It's on your. It's
Okay, yeah, it's on my resume, right?
Absolutely.
So,
I'm not gonna say
like,
it. I'll say it.
so like when you work for the hospital, like there's this expectation, right, to keep people sick and in the hospital. So I'm like, this does not fit me. So I like move in with this chiropractor. Well, I didn't move in with them, but and work there.
And we digress.
We digress. So anyway, he's like treating these patients with like supplements and like figuring out what's really wrong with them. And I'm like,
More functional medicine.
functional medicine. I'm like, how are you doing that? Because I already was doing hormones. But I'm like, how are you doing this? And so I realized that even if you treat people's hormones, even with natural hormone therapy like bioidentical hormones, I'm still like, how do you figure out what's causing those hormone imbalances? And so he taught me about this food sensitivity testing, and I had this lady who came in and she had fibromyalgia so bad she could barely walk. This is like one of the famous stories I tell because it was like so life-changing for me. And I'd been working with her hormones and she was getting better. Oh, I feel a little better. I'm like, great, I'm getting a little traction. But I mean, she was on a cane. She could not walk. I mean, she was crippled with the inflammation. And so anyway, I'm like, hey, let's do this test. It was this exact same company that I still use like 10 years later. And I'm like, let's do this. So we do the test. And she comes back 3 months later, literally skipping in the office. I've never seen anything like it. And so
Skipping. I always say you can't be depressed and skip at the same time.
She's skipping, but she's depressed. She's like
you
mad.
Can't skip and be depressed at the same time.
She was.
Mutually exclusive concepts.
No. And she's like,
she had a cane and doesn't anymore, so she's breaking a lot of rules over here.
Exactly.
What she told me was, she's like, I'm mad because somebody did this test on me like 5 or 6 years ago. And I completely poo-pooed it because I thought it was hokey. I thought it was like,
she didn't give it any credibility.
No credibility. And she's like, you're a medical doctor. And when you gave it credibility, because everything's about nerdy science with me. If it, like, I think acupuncture is cool, but I don't know the nerdy science behind it. And I can't actually put like evidence base behind it. So I'm going to tell people if that helps you, great. But I'm not really going to be like, this is what I recommend.
A big advocate. You're not going to advocate.
I'm going to validate it. So once I validated it for her, and she actually did it, and she eliminated those foods for like 3 months, it was amazing, the transformation.
Gosh, I love it.
It was crazy. So she's like, I'm mad because like I didn't believe it. So when you look at the science behind it, it is literally taking your antibodies against proteins, we call them antigens in the food, and seeing if there's a reaction. They put it across this gel electrophoresis and how far it travels, and then they rate it like 1, 2, or 3. So they give you the severity of the reaction. And so when you eliminate those foods, basically you're eliminating inflammation from your diet, which is cool about weight loss, because what I've experienced is people were losing weight as this kind of went along, and I'm like,
Lower the inflammation.
this is a big deal because people are really resistant to weight loss. So for me personally, getting my hormones balanced after my hysterectomy was significant weight loss that I had gained during that time. But doing this, I live this every single day of my life for the past 10 years since I've known about it. And literally they give you like this little card in here. It's a blood test.
I still have it in my wallet.
I still have it in my wallet.
But I have it memorized.
Oh yeah, me too. I didn't have to look at it, but it's like, so powerful.
Can that change?
It can change, because what happens is a lot of times people eat the same foods, and so their triggers are higher. But after you heal it, it'll actually reduce the degree of the reaction. So we call it healing the gut. And when you heal the gut, you heal the brain, because so much of your serotonin and your mood and everything is regulated by the gut and all your immune system. It's your second brain. Exactly.
Every bit of your happiness, some people eat when they're unhappy, but that food could be exactly what's causing their unhappiness. It could be the root of their unhappiness, because it's the serotonin, all the things in your brain and your weight, all those things are just all related, and so it's just an interesting concept from
and so connected in way more than we ever really we ever realized. I mean, I did this several years ago, and it did change for me. I had a lot of bloating and bubbles, and as I said, some joint pain and issues that just were completely eliminated. And that was one of the only things that I've done. And then when I do cheat and eat the wrong thing, for me it's really gluten and those kind of bad carbs that do it for me. And I mean, my gosh, my knee is bothering me today. I just ate the pizza last night or whatever. So yeah.
But now it's like so knowledge is power, and you might still make those decisions. Gluten's the same way for me. I feel terrible, but I know.
Why did I do that?
So it's like, but you have the choice, right?
I had mushrooms.
Choose the action, choose the consequence.
I chose the other night. I was just really craving this chicken piccata with these mushrooms. It was so delicious.
And mushrooms are no for you.
They're a high one for me, but actually it was fine because I hadn't had them in a while. And I didn't eat an entire box of them, so it was good.
That day you ate an entire box? It was crazy.
Yeah, I came in and everyone was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like,
I wanted to read from an excerpt from the book that
please do.
I liked. It was under the Did You Know? Studies suggest that repeated bouts of perceived stress cause harm to the temporal lobe, an area of the brain important to memory, causing it to shrink in size, compromising the performance of spatial and memory.
Oh, that's such nerdy science. I love it.
I love that. So if you could expound on that, I'd love that.
Which book did this come from?
Her recent one, the one that you sent me the electronic copy.
Yes,
So I've read it. It was 100 pages. I mean, it was really. But I wasn't going to read it in one sitting, but I did. So in preparation for the show,
studying.
Yeah, a little bit. But I thought that was really interesting.
So what's your question then?
So I want you to speak to how that it actually that causes the stress of the temporal lobe. I mean, that's a huge thing.
Well, when you eat something that causes inflammation and it causes that cortisol response. Cortisol, it bathes the brain when you have that stress. So then there's also all the hormones that are made in the gut, like serotonin and things like that. So you don't have that balance with all those hormones.
But it can actually affect my brain in such a way that it underperforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, brain fog. Absolutely, everybody has brain fog, and that's one of the main symptoms.
What I had.
Yeah,
that's what I feel when I eat that stuff. That's the main thing that gets me. Is like, I'm like, I'm in La La Land. What is wrong with me?
For me, that's gluten. And I have a couple of patients who call it the gluten hangover.
Yeah, it really is like a hangover.
It is.
It really is like a hangover.
Yeah,
so what do we do? So what do? We get tested.
Yeah, get
we eliminate
tested.
these foods. We go through a detox. And then I know you talk about some supplements like L-methylfolate.
Yeah,
which is
methylfolate,
a
very
healer
good liver
for the,
detox. Yeah,
for the leaky
glutamine
gut.
is wonderful. Glutamine acts like spackling, which is like, you know, if you've ever spackled the wall, glutamine will spackle.
Yeah, a little spackle on a couple of things.
Yeah,
here,
aloe vera. There's all sorts of great things. So, you know, it's great to kind of put that. We call it healing. What, honey? Are you feeling left out?
No. It's time to break.
We're talking about. Oh,
Okay.
break. Okay,
We're up
we're gonna
against
take
break.
a break,
Up
and we'll be
against
right
break.
back.
We'll be right
Look
back.
at me. Welcome back to Naked Doctor. We are talking about leaky gut, the gut-brain axis, and stress, and all sorts of things. So I want to kind of just draw out a little bit of what we call leaky gut. And this is one of the most influential things in my practice that has really changed everything as far as inflammation, hormone balance, weight loss. So when you get to the root cause of all autoimmune, it's really significant. So what happens is, I'm going to be a little bit graphic here, but you actually eat your food, and food literally is medicine. So if you're eating crap, this conversation not for you. First, you got to clean up your diet, and you got to remove the sodas, the Doritos, all that kind of stuff. But when you eat, basically there's this tube called the esophagus. And the esophagus actually helps start processing food. So you're starting to make enzymes that are breaking the food down. Then you have the stomach, and then you have the small intestine. And one of the most significant things in the small intestine is that it's one cell layer thick. And so that's a great thing because it's easily repaired. The bad thing is that it's easily disrupted. So these are little cells inside the gut. So if you were to actually take the gut tube, cut it in half like a tube, and then look at it under the microscope, you would see these cellular components with these cellular adhesion molecules. And so basically out here is the bloodstream, and as the food travels into the gut, there's this protective layer, and we call that protective layer the IgA layer. And so this actually keeps your immune system in check. So as food gets digested, there are little bacteria in there, and as gross as it sounds, the bacterial purpose is to digest your food and poop out your vitamins. So these vitamins and nutrients basically get absorbed into the bloodstream. And so that's in a perfect world, right? So what happens in leaky gut is this actually gets disrupted. And so now, boy, that doesn't really clear off very well, but now literally chunks of food, especially if you don't have the right bacteria, if you're not taking probiotics, if you've ever taken antibiotics, if you've ever taken medications that disrupt this layer here. Now literally, here I'll draw a new one. Literally, when you have leaky gut, you've lost these adhesion molecules, and food is literally falling into the bloodstream, which is triggering this IgG response. Now, IgG is different from IgE. So if you have a peanut allergy, that happens within minutes. So you don't really need a blood test for that because you know if you have a peanut allergy. IgG, however, takes up to 72 hours. So the cause and effect is very blurred. So if you eat a food and 72 hours or 3 days later, you start to feel bad, like that gluten hangover, things like that, and you just start feeling bad the next day, you're not really going to associate that. So the testing is super important. And what they do is basically run these proteins called antibodies, which is this IgG, against proteins in your food, which are what's called antigens, and they look to see this reaction, and they run it across a gel electrophoresis and look to see the degree of the reaction and how that responds. And so what we can do is identify those foods. I call it literally the foods that make you fat, because once you identify those foods, you can identify what's causing this inflammatory response, which then cortisol is made in response to that inflammation response, which then can cause belly fat. So literally the foods that are being triggered in this inflammatory process are causing inflammation, which can then cause belly fat. So what we want to do is heal the gut, and you can do that through certain supplements, do that through testing, removing those foods for an amount of time, and then repairing the gut, and then you can actually perhaps reintroduce those foods as you get healthier, reduce your cortisol, and maintain and restore your hormone balance, basically. But it's all about healing the gut. And the stress that is affected by the gut as well can all affect that. So you want to repair, it's a multifactorial approach to repairing all these enzymes and the hormones that are occurring in the gut so that you can have a complete wellness program, and it really does help with fibromyalgia, with chronic pain, with hormone imbalances, with all sorts of issues. So it really starts with the testing and identifying at the core what your underlying cause is. Hope this was helpful, and we'll see you back here in just a few minutes on The Naked Doctor. Welcome back. We've had a great show. We've been talking about leaky gut,
We have
gut-brain access, and
the second brain,
how to heal your gut. Yep. Good stuff.
food sensitivities.
And ultimately, happiness.
Happiness, yes. Making your serotonin. Food is medicine. Eat the right foods. Know what the right foods are. You know, I call it like diesel fuel and unleaded fuel. It may be healthy food, maybe asparagus. We test from asparagus to zucchini.
If it's healthy for you.
Healthy for
Yeah.
you, yeah. But if it's causing inflammation in your body, it's not the right food for you. So you wouldn't put unleaded fuel in a diesel tank
That's
or
the
vice
crazy
versa.
thing. Because most people are like, oh, I know, I need to just, I just need to eat healthier and eat better. And I'm like, well, true, but like, there are things that are
What does that
healthy
look like
that
for you?
actually
Yeah.
are not helping your body
Yeah.
and could
Yeah.
actually be causing these pains in your body. Because
Healthy things like spinach, asparagus,
broccoli, whatever it is, bananas. Yeah, this is crazy because you would never know what you're sensitive to until you get tested.
Yeah, it's very, bio individuality on your diet. Truly, it's customized. It's different for
I'm trying to say
everybody.
doctor words over there.
Dr. Woods.
I have a big vocabulary.
Vocabulary is on fleek, let me tell you.
She does have a crazy vocabulary. I was
However,
so
this is
impressed with her vocabulary. Like, she'll just pop out these words. It's
I'm like,
just
you made that word up.
You do not want to play Scrabble with me. I'll tell you that.
no way.
Okay.
So,
Actually, I have a challenger for you on that.
Okay.
So you can do elimination diets like Whole30 and stuff like that, or you just come get tested because it's so much more specific. You know, some people will do the blood diet or blood type diet.
Yeah.
And that's so general. And you can group all those things, you know, and kind of eat according to that. But to me, I want to know. I want to know exactly what my body can tolerate and what my body can't.
Me too. Me too.
So come get tested, and we'll take care of you, and
Maybe we'll eat a meal with you.
and we'll go eat a meal with you. We do classes and stuff. We can teach you how to, because everybody's like, okay, I gotta go gluten-free now. What do I do with that?
Yeah.
So Allie's
Yeah.
going
I am good with that. I do like that. Come see me for that.
Yep. So good stuff. So come get tested, and we'll take care of you. You know, there is a quick and dirty thing you can do within 15 minutes. You guys might not know this.
Okay.
When you eat something that you're sensitive to, when you start triggering the IgG response, you'll get a heart rate elevation of about 15 beats.
And I follow my heart rate like a boss.
You do? Yeah.
I mean, I'm on
Got
it.
the
I'm
little
checking it, and I look at the
thing.
graphs. I'm very
Yeah.
analytical.
And that's what, when I had
So I would look at that. I would like that.
you hear that's
check
why
that
when I
out.
wore the Fitbit, why
You felt bad.
Well, my heart rate was at like 90 all the time.
Because you're eating crap you weren't supposed to all
I
the
was
time.
chugging my milk.
Chugging your dairy.
So bad.
So, yeah. But the problem is, you know, if you have multiple things that you're sensitive to, then you don't know, and your heart rate's just racing all the time. So that can be significant.
Or you're nervous about if your heart rate's going to
Exactly,
increase.
right.
So, the white coat syndrome.
Yeah,
you know.
right. Yeah, I could do
But
it.
people's blood
Yeah.
pressure rise when they're about to
So
have their
just-
blood pressure
just
taken.
come get the labs done.
Yeah,
That's
let's
cool
do
stuff.
that. Let's just do that.
All right, well, we've had a great show this week. Thanks for joining us on The Naked Doctor, and join us next week, and we'll share more cool stuff. We love you all very much, and we'll see you back here next week on The Naked Doctor. Mwah.
Follow us on Facebook.
Facebook.
Naked Doctor Show.
Oh, yeah.
And if for some reason there's something that you guys want us to talk about on the show, or something you want us to address, send us a message on the Naked
Yeah,
Doctor
for
Show
sure.
on Facebook.
That's a
So,
great idea. Love
thank
to hear
for
from you.
watching.
Okay, we'll see you back here next week.